Okay, here's a good question. Why am I depressed? Why am I depressed? There are basically two branches that the answer can go along. One is that you're depressed because you don't have the right chemicals in your brain, serotonin or whatever. And I don't know about that. That's not my strength. That's not my skill set to know all about what medication you should take, does it make a difference, and all that. The other branch is more of a psychological reason, that it's to do with the way that you're thinking about yourself and your life and the habits that come from that. Very often depression seems to be caused when we have an idea about how we should be and how we are that doesn't actually match up with how we appear, with what results show us. So we think we should be having a life like this, and like this, given what we were told, given what we were promised, given what we thought about ourselves. But after some time, we realize that we're not who we thought we were. And that can be very depressing. Because what to do if you're not who you think you are? And the same with the life. The life isn't what we thought it was. It isn't turning out as we thought it would do. What we believed to be so has not shown up. And that becomes depressing every time we feel it. The realization that things aren't as they should be or could be or were promised to be, personally or in our lives, triggers us into a place of hopelessness. And this hopelessness is it's a refuge. Even though it's like crawling into a box, at least there's something kind of safe about it or known about it. It's my box. And you see people who, if you watch carefully, they're present and they're communicating and they're bright and they're in the moment and they're feeling good, and then something triggers them and they drop and they go into a place where they're depressed, where they're just thinking negative thoughts. Depression comes because you take your internal dialogue as broadcasting from reality. When it tells you about yourself and your life, you take that as real. And what you have to realize is that the thoughts arise out of the beingness that you're embodying in any one moment. So if you're feeling not that great, your thoughts will reflect that. They won't reflect pristine reality. Your thoughts can only be trusted when you are clear and when you're happy and when you're focused. When you're depressed, the thoughts you have are a product of the depression, not of reality. But if you take them as being a product of reality, then you're going to get more depressed. You cannot trust your internal dialogue as being an authentic expression of true reality. It's an authentic expression of the reality you're in right now and can't be trusted. So a lot of depression is based out of believing the nonsense of your internal dialogue when it speaks to you and characterizes you. If you're feeling down, you're going to characterize yourself in a negative way. And if you're feeling up, you're going to be characterizing yourself in a positive way. But either way, you're not the characterization. And this brings us on to the critical part. If you were who you actually were, the self, would you ever get depressed? Or is depression a sign that you simply aren't who you are yet? People go, I am depressed. Well, no, you're not. Depression may be happening for you, but you're not depressed. When the weather rolls through the sky, which it does continuously changing, never getting stuck, always changing. Habits can be detected with the weather that rolls through the sky, but basically it's always changing. Does the sky change? Does the sky ever change? No. Does the sky ever get affected by the weather? Oh, it's been cloudy and foggy for several days. Has the sky lost its clarity? Does the weather affect the sky? Why am I asking this? Because, tell me if I'm wrong, but isn't depression something that you witness? A weather condition in your consciousness? You witness it. Which came first? The witness or the characterizer? The chatterer? The source of your depression? Which came first? The witness. So the witness is deeper than whatever makes your depression. And the witness is not affected by your depression or by anything that has ever happened to you. You might think, no, I had terrible trauma when I was a child. I've never been right since. And that may be true. The psychological self damaged by trauma and terrible things. But you're deeper than the psychological self. You were there before the psychological self formed. Nothing that's ever happened has touched this place of the witness, of the observer. It may be that you will never sort out your psychological self. But even if you did, it's not necessarily the path to happiness. Happiness comes when you allow yourself to sink back into the witness, to rest as awareness, sky-like awareness, to find that peace that actually is always there. And this is what's so weird. You might be feeling really terrible and depressed and no hope, but just a little bit further inward, there's a place of great calm and peace where all is well. The level of all is well in you never goes. It's the ground of your being. Everything else comes and goes. Your moods will come and go. Your depressions will come and go. Your thoughts will come and go. Even your states of consciousness will come and go. But this place of all is well, the ground of your being. Knowing this, the chances of being depressed are much less. Knowing this, even if you do get depressed, you recognize it as weather, not as reality. You're the sky. You're the awareness which is a clearing for your depression. You're not the depression. Now, these things that I've said may sound weird, or they may even sound like gobbledygook. But trust me, there's something really real there. That actually there's a place inside you where all is well, no matter what's going on, mentally or in your world. Find this place. Seek it out. Inquire within. There's something about you, something wonderful about you, that you may not have discovered yet. And that might be the root cause of your depression. Lack of self-knowledge. It's not hard to know the self. You have to stop believing your thoughts. You have to recognize that your thoughts are a product of who you're being in any one moment, and not a reflection of reality.